I'm applying pressure. I'm applying pressure. No mercy. No mercy. I'ma give you no mercy. Baby, I'ma give you this.
You're now in tune to Convos with Mr. Cooper.
All right. Welcome to Convos. I'm Mr. Cooper. Yeah. Come on, guys. We in it. It's another one. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for pulling up. Thank you for sliding through. If you're here, if you're watching me, it only means one thing. We made it. Yeah. You made it to another day. You made it to a whole nother time. You made it right here on the best show on Monday nights. Yeah, that's me. Convos. Yeah. Man, shout out to my homie Blaze Hunter, Ninth Wonder. That's my partner, owner of Blaze It Up Radio, co-owner of the most prestigious network in the land. That is the Signature Seriez network. Right now I'm also recording, obviously, as you can see, on the phone as well. Man, it's a lot going on in our world. And by our world, I mean the world of Signature Seriez entertainment. That's right. Been working hard. We've been working diligently. Just making sure that the content is right. The music that comes from the camp is on point. And making sure all business is taken care of, man. Like, that's very important. Now in this day and age, making sure your business is in order, and the business of Signature Seriez is definitely in order. Taking this time today, as you can see, I didn't come alone. Ooh, you hear that hardware? Yeah, obviously you can see the hardware. And for those of you all that have not seen Convos visually, or can't see it visually, and you're listening to me, I'm gonna paint the picture for you. I sit with the heavyweight championship. It's no secret, I am a huge professional wrestling fan. It's been that way since I've been a wee little lad. Yes, it's been that way. And you know, well, maybe you don't know, but I'll fill you in. Those of us that were children back in the day, we couldn't afford belts. We couldn't afford a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? It was just what it was, you know, coming up. And that's life. You know, sometimes your parents can't get you what you want. Sometimes you just can't afford it during those times. And I wasn't one of those kids that was, you know, into sports and things like that from a traditional sense. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of basketball. You know, never been to an NBA game. I could literally sit here and say that, not feeling any bit of like I've missed out on anything by saying that. I've never been to an NBA game. Really don't care to go. Not my cup of tea. Never been to a professional football game. You know, don't really too much care about that. Not disrespecting those guys in their respective fields, but it's just not for me. It's never been to a professional baseball thing. Never been to a major golf tournament. You know, never been to a tennis tournament. Definitely never been to the NHL. You know, nothing against you guys in hockey or things like that. Just not my cup of tea. But the one thing and the one place I've been to numerous times has been professional wrestling. You know, I haven't been to the Super Bowl and to the NBA Finals or any of those major sporting events. But you know what I have been to? I've been to WrestleMania. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. Wrestle fucking mania. Now, I'm going to privy this by saying, the things that I'm going to say. This is mine. This is how I think. This is my view. This is the way I see things. Hell, if you don't know what the show is Convos. I mean, duh. So the things that I'm saying will be coming from my perspective. So what better way to talk about something that I love than taking you all the way back? Man, when I was introduced to professional wrestling, I was introduced to it from my grandfather. Yeah. Albert Cooper Jr. My grandfather. God rest his soul. He was a great man on all levels. But I'm going to paint the picture for you all. My grandfather used to, he made his money by serving the people. He cooked some of the best food in the city. You know what I mean? Let me paint it for you. Some shrimp fried rice. He cooked some pork sauce. He used to toast the bread. You know what I mean? Had that bread for the side for them people and go set up at the different clubs in the city. When people got out the club, he was the one, holding it down. Well, in this preparation of doing those things, this would normally be like on a Saturday night. And so myself, my mom, we go over to visit my grandfather, and we would see him setting up, and he'd be set up in his kitchen. And what he would have is everything that I just described for you. He just got finished preparing it. So what he's doing is getting everything prepared, getting his cups ready, getting his bread toasted, buttered, wrapped in the wax paper and put to the side and prepared. You know what I mean? And he was getting ready to go. But while he was preparing, he would have his television, one of his small televisions sitting on the table right there. And what would be on the television? Wrestling. Professional wrestling. There would be a little bit of WCW. And then there would be a little back then what they used to call it WWF, Saturday Night Main Event. That was where I first saw wrestlers. And I was like, wow, look at these. Who are these guys? They look like larger than life superheroes. Like, I just like that gravitated to it. So I used to watch religiously. I used to watch. That was from my grandfather. So that one night of catching that turned into every time I would either come around my grandfather, we're watching wrestling. He's telling me who this guy is and who that guy is. And back then, he was happy. He was proud to talk about such wrestlers like Junkyard Dog, Coco Beware. It was only a few African-American wrestlers within the business at that time. He would talk about even The Rock's father, Soul Man Rocky Johnson. Yeah, he would talk about all of these different things. He would talk about Dusty Rhodes, and he would show me Dusty Rhodes. And I see these people. I see Ric Flair. Yeah, I was just talking to my go-to engineer, Rich. We just had a off-air conversation about just how clean Ric Flair was. And that was the actual, this was one of my favorite belts in the entire wrestling business. Like, obviously it's a replica for those of you all. I'm not in the ring yet. But this replica of the big gold, I'm not sure if you remember, man. Ric Flair came on television one night. He was talking about the Crockett promotion. And he was saying how if you wanted to be a champion, if you wanted to see the champ had to have that nice gold. He needed that big gold. He requested, you gonna spend this money? You gonna spend this money on the big gold? I need the gold. I need the rubies. I need the diamonds. I need all of that. And that was the big goal. When I saw the big goal championship on there, I was like, damn, that's dope. That's dope. Wow. You know. So that's what wrestling started out. For me, it was almost like an escape. It was like superheroes come to life, you know, on television, but not a cartoon. And if you know me, you know, and you've heard a few of my stories, you would know that a lot of how I came up was due to what I saw. I didn't have that male figure, like I said, to lead and guide me. I looked for different heroes and different people, you know. My grandfather later on, you know, he passed, and that was something that it stayed with me, you know, from then on, from watching wrestling up until him passing, which was years down the line. That stayed with me, you know. And so that would be everything. Our teenage years coming up, Monday Night Raw, Monday Nitro, the Monday Night Wars. Yeah, it was a lot going on. I skipped a lot, but wrestling is something that you can always, especially now in this day and age, you can always go back and see some of the things that you saw when you were younger, or if you've missed out on professional wrestling and you're new to it and you want to catch up and do your due diligence on who and what these men and women do, putting their body on the line to entertain. Yeah. You know, I used to get picked at, and I'm sure a lot of people that watch wrestling, you know, used to get picked. You looking at that fake shit. You watching that fake shit. But I guarantee you, now one of y'all, nobody that calls professional wrestling fake will step up to any professional wrestler and talk that fake shit. I guarantee you'll find out real quick it ain't as fake as you think. Mark my words. And I want to take this time to shout out every true, real deal pro wrestler, past and present. I want to shout you out because you all, whether you are in the independent scene or on a main stage, you all take time away from your families. You all put in the work to be the best at what you do, just like any other profession. And you put your bodies on the line just to entertain. Just for that, y'all got my respect. I'm going to tell you how wrestling shifted kind of how I see things and how it plays a role still for me to this day. As I stated before, you had people that would shun you and, you know, look down on you, saying, oh man, you like that fake stuff, but you don't know the reasons why. There's so much that goes into professional wrestling. And on this show, if you look at my tagline back then, I said that I would be talking more and more about professional wrestling and my love for professional wrestling, and periodically bring on different guests, be it pro wrestlers, people in the business, writers, producers, anything pro wrestling. I want to bring it into Convos because it is a part of me. What shifted for me though is when I started to learn the business of pro wrestling. Right? There's an entire business structure into how a show is created, into just from a wrestler standpoint, developing of your skill, continuing to work and perfect your craft, literally learning the skill of professional wrestling and putting in the work. And that's what those men and women do. You don't just see them on TV doing some incredible things and then say, I can do that. No, it takes work. You know, not giving anything away about the business, but that's just what it is. It takes work. Like anything, you have to work at it in order to be the best at it. You know, it takes character development, developing a character. Sometimes you have people that have characters, and then you have people that really don't measure up. The business side of it, I was looking at how much money is made in professional wrestling. If you look at it from TV rights, if you look at it from a advertisement standpoint, if you look at it from a merchandising standpoint, it's a very lucrative business. And when I started to look at that, I started to put two and two together. Like, oh, damn. Not only do I like the theatrical side of it, the physicality, but finding out the different ways that you can make money in this business, man, that intrigued me. It intrigued me a lot. I fancy myself a creator, a writer, if you would. I love to create. And so myself and my partner, you know, we have some things up our sleeve. Oh yeah. Got some things up our sleeve. You know, it's even trickled down to my son. My son is literally pursuing his dream to be a professional wrestler. Yeah. It's real. It's a real thing going on, guys. So what I want to do is I want to take a quick commercial break. And when I come back, I'm going to run through some of my favorite wrestlers. Yeah. Past and present by name. Oh yeah. This is going to be good. We'll be right back with more convos. Oh, why hello. Yes. You know who you've reached. This is me, moi. This face. Live. Right here. Knife Wonder magazine. You want your copy? Go to Blaze Hunter, knifewonder.com. Welcome back. Welcome back to Convos. I'm Mr. Cooper. Of course, I'm joined by Big Goal over here. Y'all see the name on there too. It says Mr. Cooper. Yes. Yes. I walk around with this, or I have this with me, and most people, they ask, oh man, you wrestling? What's this? You wrestling? Hold on, is that a freaking phone call? No, I'm not doing that. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. They would ask me, you wrestling? Why do you have that? And I would say to them gladly, no, I'm not wrestling. Oh, this symbolizes much more to me. You know, I feel like in their world, in the world of professional wrestling, carrying the belt, it means a hell of a lot more. Us as fans, we can all purchase, replicas, things of that nature. But for them, carrying the belt means they're carrying the company. It means that they are, the company sees something in them to put the strap on them. They feel that they can lead their company into the next, evolution, if you will, of the business during those times. Whoever holds the top titles now. In my opinion, the person holding the top prize, if you look at it from a world standpoint of the top professional wrestling company, the person holding the top prize right now at this moment while I'm shooting this show is Roman Reigns. Literally over 900 days. He's about to hit 1,000. Over 900 days as the champion. That's over 2 years holding the title in one company. Not just the title. He hasn't been pinned since he came back within that title reign as well. He hasn't been pinned. And he's been leading the charge, leading forward. Not only gaining one title, but he hold both of the titles in the company, both of the top titles. That's some hard work. Shout out to the tribal chief. And not for nothing, I did shout the tribal chief out in my song, the No Mercy remix. Yeah, you got to go listen to it. It's the last verse. It's dope. My wordplay is ridiculous. But again, shout out to the tribal chief. But I mentioned him because right now at the top of he's at the top of my list, present day, bar none. No disrespect to anybody doing it. And I got love for everybody. Face or heel, I got love for everybody. But Roman is at the top. The tribal chief, the bloodline, they at the top. You know what I mean? So I'm going to just list off some of my favorite wrestlers past, some of the wrestlers that I look at no matter what company you're in. If you hear your name dropped and you see this, you know what I'm saying? Or those of you all listening, if you hear a name of your favorite wrestler, or if you have a favorite wrestler, leave it in the comments. But if you hear this name or these names, you know what I mean? Just know y'all got a lot of love and respect from me. All right. Of course, I started it with the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Yeah. Y'all gave him shit all them years. And now everybody that gave him shit has to eat that shit. Yeah. But I'm also going to tell you, I called it. Yep. You don't know this, Roman, and don't nobody else know this. But when Roman was in NXT, he used to come dressed in suits. He used to, do cut promos in suits and, his watch and everything. And I looked at him, I was like, dang, he could be a real heel. Like he could be a real deal heel. And he was. He had almost like a Ric Flair type of vibe to him. And I was calling him then Rick Roman. He would cut the little promos and come back. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted him to be this, whatever Vince saw for him leading up in the Shield. Everybody wanted that. But truth be told, they had to let him be him in order for him to get over. They had to let him be the tribal chief in order for him to get over. And the man been taking over the company for 2 years. He going on his 3rd year. Yeah. So shout out to you, Roman. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is literally one of the greats. He is literally a first ballot Hall of Famer. Seth is the workhorse. Seth can do no wrong. Shout out to Seth Rollins. As I'm mentioning Seth Rollins, I would be remiss not to mention their former partner who is now on the other company, AEW, in Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is a beast. He literally stepped out, went away from the company, showed you all who he really is, and literally, in my opinion, showed that he can hang with any and everybody. Anybody in the ring has a hell of a chance of not making it out of that ring, stepping in with Jon Moxley. So obviously those three, and not for nothing, they were a part of the Shield, which is one of the dopest factions. But like I said, I'm going present, past. And what comes to mind is Booker T, the five-time WCW champion, 2-time Hall of Famer, Booker T. Booker T is one of the all-time greats in the world, you know, and it's literally undisputed. 2, you got a Hall of Fame ring for tagging with his brother, one of the best tag teams in all of professional wrestling, in Harlem Heat. Stevie Ray, Booker T, Harlem Heat. They're Hall of Famers for that. Then he's had his own Hall of Fame career as a singles wrestler. Booker T is still doing the damn thing today, if he wanted to. He has a great podcast. I watch it all the time. He also has his own professional wrestling promotion. So he not only he didn't stop at being just a performer. He took that and became a boss on his own. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Booker T. I would be remiss if I did not mention Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons. I used to watch him with my grandfather. Ron Simmons was the first black heavyweight champion. He got the title beating Vader in WCW. It's a very iconic moment. He has gone on to be considered one of the greatest in the ring. Ron Simmons. Yeah. Hell yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is in no particular order, people. But Stone Cold Steve Austin. One of the greats. Stone Cold is on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, if it was a Mount Rushmore for professional wrestlers, Stone Cold Steve Austin is on the Mount Rushmore. I don't care what you say. Fight me. Fight me. Stone Cold. Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle. Shout out to Kurt. I met Kurt one time. Got a picture with Kurt. I know I might show it. I might show it on here. You might see it somewhere. But yeah, Kurt Angle. Literally. Real deal Olympic gold medalist. Won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Yeah. Yeah, that guy, that dude. Real deal menace. Yeah. Take anybody down. Like a real deal wrestler. Yeah. And came in and took to the profession. One of the greats. I, again, would be remiss if I didn't mention one of my favorites coming up. One Randy Orton. That's right. Randall Keith Orton. That's right. The Viper. Yeah. The Legend Killer. He was one of my favorites coming up. I was talking to my boy off camera again about the eras. And he mentioned John Cena. Oh yeah. John Cena. As Santino Marella would say. John Cena. But yeah. So me mentioning Randy, I gotta mention Cena. Yes. Cena has done great things. Cena has gone on and done tremendous things. But that rivalry between him and Randy, that was some good pro wrestling. Real deal. I'm going to mention 2 other people in their same class because they all came up in the same training class. Randy Orton, John Cena, who was the prototype. You got Brock Lesnar. Yeah. The Beast. He's still doing things. He's still busting people's head. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'll fight Brock. I'm just be honest. I don't think I'll fight you, Brock. But don't let me be anywhere near my pistol, brother. It's going down. I'm not doing it. That's a big dude. Nah, man. But not only Brock, but there was another wrestler by the name of Leviathan. I know you all looking at Leviathan. I ain't never heard of that. Yeah, I know. I'm glad they changed his name. When he came to the main roster, he became Batista. That's right. They were all in that class. Shelton Benjamin was there too. Shelton Benjamin, another great. Real deal great. But it was Randy, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Batista. They came up in the same class, OVW. And look at their careers. Yeah, hard work. Batista. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Batista's going to be in this year's Hall of Fame. Yeah. Batista left the business and went to Hollywood. And he's a real deal serious actor. Yeah. Yeah. Shouts out to you, Batista. Doing your thing. So yeah, those are just a few. And just to go back a little bit, I know y'all was like, well, damn, you ain't mentioned Hulk Hogan. It's a reason. It's a reason why I didn't. Yeah. It's a reason. Yeah. But yeah, my love for pro wrestling, it just, it can't be matched, and not in a million years did I think that love for pro wrestling would turn into myself getting involved in any aspect of the business. And I can fully say today that myself, my partner, Blaze Hunter, our network, the most prestigious network in the land, that is the Signature Series Network, is the home of some independent professional wrestling. Yes, we have the likes of Spartan Pro Wrestling on our network. I know some up and coming professional wrestling athletes. That's some dogs out here that's gonna tear it down, that are surefire future world heavyweight champions. Yeah. And so I got to see that. I'm in the position now to be able to help cultivate that. And that's dope. That's dope as hell. So let this be a lesson to you that whatever you love in life, whatever your passions are, whatever, you hold dear that you want to make happen for yourself. I don't care how far off the dream may seem. You make that thing happen. Make that thing happen. Man. Before we get out of here, I want to mention, like I mentioned before, my one and only time at WrestleMania. Just give you a little story on that, and then I'm gonna slide on out of here. But me attending WrestleMania, I believe this was the year that Ronda Rousey made her debut. I believe in this match, it was Ronda and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. So that's how I remember the actual one. But it took place in New Orleans. My lovely, gorgeous, beautiful wife decided that for my birthday, she would send me to New Orleans to go to WrestleMania. I just thought that was the dopest thing. As a kid, that's something I always wanted to do. And I got to celebrate doing that around the time that it was my grandfather's birthday. And the day of WrestleMania was my grandfather's birthday. Yeah. So I got to enjoy the full experience of WrestleMania with thousands of people in New Orleans, in the Dome, on my grandfather's birthday. The man that introduced me to professional wrestling. In that moment, it felt like I was enjoying this experience with him. That's something that will never, ever be taken away from me. And that's an experience that I'll remember forever. And it was provided by his love for the sport and my love for the sport. And to be able to celebrate it in that way was probably one of the coolest moments that I had to myself. And I thought I'd share that with y'all because that moment doesn't happen without my love for pro wrestling. And again, that moment doesn't happen without my wife seeing fit that I go ahead and make that shit happen. So, yeah, that was pretty fucking dope. And I'm going to always be a professional wrestling fan, no matter what. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for sliding through. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen and vibe with me. Like I said, in the near future, I will have more professionals up. I got stuff coming in. Messages, it's a new phone and all that. But thank y'all. Like I said, I love this. I love being able to holler at y'all and vibe. And I will have more pro wrestling content on this show. That is my guarantee. All right. Again, thank y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for vibing. As always, this is Convos. I'm Mr. Cooper.
Let's do it. I don't see nothing wrong. You got it. You got it. I'm about to give you no mercy. No mercy. No mercy. No mercy.